we saw the film The Man Who Was Running, The Running Man by Richard Bachman, made into a movie based on the book by Stephen King Bachman.
Yes.
Something like that. I don't fucking know. Arnold was partially in it. He was on the money.
Yeah, I did like that.
So, Spencer, without going too deep into the movie, I want to ask you 2 questions.
Yes.
1, out of 10, what do you rate the movie?
10? I'd give it like a good 8.
I gave it a 7, but I could see an 8. 8 or either's fine.
Mm-hmm.
Second question, did you think it was better than the book?
Probably not. Because they're so different because the book's so just
Racist?
There's racist stuff in it, but the book is just like this so angry. Like all the Bachman books are just like
Rage filled.
Yeah. And
no hope.
No.
Dystopian nightmare.
Right. Don't get me wrong, there's a lot of that in the movie, but
has some messages of hope.
Right, yeah.
I like the movie more, not just because of the messages of hope, but I just thought it was what the few changes they made were fun.
Yeah, oh yeah, like I didn't mind any of the changes.
I thought they made the plot actually a little better. It made more sense.
Yeah.
So I thought it was. I mean, I like the book too. Neither of them are like high end literature and or cinema, but for what it was, my only real critique, and I don't think this is much of a critique, I didn't think it really felt like an Edgar Wright movie.
No,
because you think of like Baby Driver and stuff. Like they have a very certain feel to them. And it was a fun movie, but it almost came across like somewhat like a Marvel movie to me.
Because of like all the action and stuff?
Not even that. I think just more formulaic storytelling. I mean, it follows the story pretty well, but I just felt like for an Edgar Wright movie, I don't know, there was just like that spark that he normally has in his movies that I've seen. It didn't quite have that, but it's fine. Like I said, I enjoyed it.
You know what I was thinking, though, would probably been the best way to like, if you really want to like adapt the Running Man, is to do like a 3-part like mini series, like event, kind of thing, or almost like a 24 kind of thing where you're literally like hour by hour going through like, or maybe that's the thing, like maybe if you do that, you don't do the actual Running Man story, you just tell like a Running Man story.
I was gonna say you could have many Running Man stories, and not just the Running Man. They have a whole network of TV shows. You can do all of them, or what led up to the Running Man, anything. Like we talked about before. We think The Long Walk was like a prequel to the Running Man.
Yeah, that's my headcanon, is that they're in the same universe.
So anyway, Running Man, starring Glenn Powell. Check it out. It was fun. There was some fun Easter eggs. Like there's a locker room that has a bunch of names of Stephen King stuff, and they go to Derry, Maine, even.
Right.
So there's some fun stuff in there, and it was a good movie, definitely. Okay, here's the final question: did you like it better than The Long Walk?
Probably. In just in the fact that like I could see myself like watching this movie again.
Whereas The Long Walk like one's enough.
Yeah, I don't. It's kind of like The Long Walk is kind of like the first Joker movie where like when you watch, you're like, oh, that was good. I liked it. If you can say that you like that kind of movie, but like I haven't ever watched it since that first time we saw it in the back in the theater.
Why watch a long walk when you could watch a short run?
Yeah,
which is funny because in the movie he runs a lot longer than they walked in the movie.
Right.
In the Long Walk movie.
Yeah,
I'm word saying backwards.
Word souping.
Anyway, we have an episode about hell.
Hell.
Yeah, we're going to talk about hell today. So I hope you're ready for that, and there's a specific reason, and also you'll have a homework assignment.
Yay.
So we'll be back in a moment. Check that out, and I got to give Spencer a name, so I'm going to think of one. You are listening to the Drunken Pen Express. No, that's something else. The Drunken Pen Writing Podcast. I'm your host, who's not sounding good. There we go. Hey, baby, I'm back at 12. I'm your host, Caleb James. With me, as always, Spencer, the Delaware Dandy Church. Got rid of the verb. I felt that's a needed change for the new year. Maybe just get rid of the verbs and I can have better names.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
Go more wrestling style.
That is like just if you come up with something that has a good verb in it, use it. If not, no biggie.
Like if you're the Milwaukee Mauler, that's fine. But if you're the, you don't have to be the Milwaukee Man Mauler necessarily, or the I was gonna say the other N word. That's not the N word.
Jesus.
Okay, we got canceled. I want to read you something before we actually get into the episode, if you don't mind.
All right.
So, I don't know what episode we talked about poetry. One probably people didn't listen to, but I talked about my disdain for the T.S. Eliot collection.
Oh, yes.
The whole collection that I read, and specifically the main poem, The Wasteland, where I just felt like I didn't understand it and didn't like it. So I've been reading this Alfred Lord Tennyson selected poems, and I'm just going to read the very first poem.
Okay.
And I wanted to see if you notice a stark difference between, granted, Alfred Lord Tennyson, 1809 to 1892, was born in Lincolnshire and educated at Trinity College, Cambridge. The death of his close friend Arthur Hallam moved him to write in fucking other shit. So he old.
Right.
So old.
Pretty real old.
Should be way more boring than modernist T.S. Eliot, right?
You're right.
Should be dry. Should be about the fucking leaves and shit, and they chewing on hay maybe. I'm thinking boring, like Robert Frost boring. Yeah, I got this, and I was like, I'll read it, and just read it the very first poem. I was captivated.
Oh.
So I'm gonna read you the first poem because it's short, and then I want your opinion on what you think the poem. I don't know even what it means, just what your feelings of the poem are versus anything I've read from T.S. Eliot on here, which I think I read some lines from The Wasteland. And
You did.
That's good English you spoke there.
You did.
All right. So this very first poem, Spencer. I got a fucking mustache hair that won't come out of my mouth. It's like in my tooth. You ever have that?
Yeah.
That's the worst.
I've actually been thinking the past couple I need to do some trimming.
Yeah. On the mustache or something else. So this very first poem, The Outcast. Ooh, already a cool name.
Yeah.
But The Wasteland's a cool name, and that poem sucked ass. I will not seek my father's groves. They murmur deeply over my head. Of sunless days and broken loves, their shade is dim and dark and dead. There through the length of cool arcades, where noonday leaves the midnight dews, unreal shapes of twilight shades along the somber avenues. To memory's widowed eyes would spring in dreamy, drowsy wandering. I will not seek my father's hills. Their hue is fresh and clear and bright. What time the early sunbeam fills their bush-clad depths with lonely light. Each broken stile, each wavy path, each hollowed hawthorn, damp and black, each brook that chatters noisy wrath, among its knotted reeds bring back lone images of varied pain to this worn mind and fevered brain. I will not seek my father's hall. There peers the day's unhallowed glare, the wet moss crusts the parting wall. The wassail wind is reveler there, along the weedy, chinky floors. Wild knots of flowering rushes blow, and through the sounding corridors the sere leaf rustles to and fro. And oh, what memory might recall, if once I paced that voiceless hall. That's it. So automatically, I just enjoy, one, because there's a rhyme scheme that you can follow.
Yeah.
But two, I just felt that so much more vivid to me than the fucking T.S. Eliot shit.
Yeah.
Like, maybe there's no allegories and allusions and metaphors, but what do you think of a more simplistic prose style like that, or poetry style, rather? I
mean, if I were to probably get into poetry, it'd probably be more along those lines because, like we said this before, like especially pro poetry, I kind of like, other than just like just going off,
freestyling,
right? I don't know how you describe that, but whimsical, maybe. I don't.
Well, it's interesting because I, as you know, grew up the poetry. I first really my first foray into poetry was Edgar Allan Poe, which is mostly, if not all, rhyming poetry, and basically at least every poem I think I've read of his has some kind of story to it.
Yeah.
So I like the imagery and the stories that are told. But around the same time, I read the That Leaves the Grass by Walt Whitman.
Right.
And some of the poems I really like, but a lot of them just, fucking goddamn it, dude. Like, I just don't care.
Yeah.
So I appreciate, so far, I forget. I'm getting near halfway in this collection. Most of the poems I've read, I really enjoyed. Maybe I'm just not a contemporary poet fan. But that makes me think, there has to be poets now who are writing stuff like that.
Yeah, I was going to say, do you think there's...
I know more in England, they still do meter and rhyme and shit, versus for some reason Americans can only write horse hockey. Just fucking, my cat, man, doesn't feel good, and I don't feel good when my cat feels bad. And I'm like, I don't give a shit, dude. What are you talking about? You know? You know what I mean?
I think I do know.
You know what I'm saying?
I think I'm picking up what you're putting down.
Yeah, you smell what I'm stinking. So anyway, for those who stuck around through the poem, which I know people just love when I read poetry on here, we are talking about hell, Spencer. This was such an obscure topic that I could not find an actual article in the 1 minute research I did.
Really?
So I had to just go by, oh no, what happened, Spencer? Why was that on my favorites? I didn't even know I had a favorite album. I had to take screenshots of the AI generated Google search because that's the only thing that gave me titles. So I picked scariest depictions of hell in books.
Okay.
Thought that'd be cool.
Yeah.
And there's a reason for that. Because if you follow my Instagram, you know I just took a 1 hour break from Moby Dick to read A Short Stay in Hell by Stephen L. Peck. What is that book about, Spencer?
Hell.
It's a novella, so it's only 104 pages, read in an hour, and I won't say I really enjoyed it, but I liked it a lot. But it was, I will say the ending kind of, I don't know. I want to say it sucked, but I don't know. It's just, it's such an existential book that it's like, there's no ending that's going to be good.
Yeah.
But anyway, this novella is often cited for its profoundly terrifying and existential depiction of hell, focusing on a man's descent into a surreal and unending afterlife. So what
is Divine Comedy going to be on this thing?
I don't know, probably. So I'm going to read you.
I like the cover.
Yeah, well, your homework assignment is to read this in one sitting.
I had got to be in one sitting?
Yeah, that's your homework assignment, is to turn off your phone, TVs, and everything and read this in one sitting because it's very doable. The font's fairly big.
Oh, it is pretty big.
As a faithful Mormon, Soren Johansson has always believed he'll be reunited with his loved ones in an eternal hereafter. Then he dies. Soren awakes to find himself cast by a god he has never heard of into a hell whose dimensions he can barely grasp. A vast library he can only escape from by finding the book that contains the story of his life. It gets really fucked up because he's dead and he's telling you the story of him dying. So he comes to, and it's him and a bunch of other people in a demon's office. And the demon's like, hey, you picked the wrong religion. And it's some like obscure Iranian religion, like Zori. I don't even know what it's called. I forget. So I'm mad.
That reminds me of that episode of South Park when they
all pick the wrong hat.
And it was like, I think, but it was like Mormon. Was that
the right one?
Yeah.
Well, in this situation, Mormon is the wrong one. It's this obscure Iranian Indian religion. And only like 150,000 people ever practice it or something. So
and everybody else just goes to hell.
Yeah, but it's like curated hell. So the demon basically just for funsies is playing on his little digital thing, and he just picks what hell he feels is, for whatever person the hell he wants. So this guy ends up in this vast library, and by vast library, essentially endless, because it's based on a short story by Louis Borges, whatever his fucking name is. I never read his work. But he wrote a story about the Library of Babel, and it's opposed to every book ever written or something.
Oh, okay.
So this one is not just every book ever written or could be written. It's every combination. So most of the books that these people were looking through, they have to find the story of their life to be able to move on to heaven.
Mm-hmm.
And just think almost infinite books. It's not infinite. There is an end, but they're never going to find it.
Right.
And every book they pick up, for the most part, is just like random symbols. So you think there might be a book that's just all periods. There might be a book that's A, B, C, D, every combination you can think of. So at some point, these people, because there are other people there, they find books that have like a sentence in them. And they're like, oh my God, an actual readable sentence. But this guy, when he wakes up, I won't give too much away because like I said, it's a very short story. But he makes some friends there, some romantic encounters. He has to kind of get over being Mormon because he still has they don't drink coffee, but they have these kiosks that'll give you any food you want because you still have to eat and stuff. But if you die there, you just wake up the next day and like there again. But then like at some point, and I will spoil something for you, because it's like there's like a middle that you can fall into. So it's like a library that has two sides. And, think like railings, like just like tiered library, right?
Yeah.
You can see it on the fucking cover.
Yeah.
In the middle, it's like it drops down. It's a chasm. At some point, let's just say if you fall into that chasm, you'll fall until you hit the ground, right? And then you'd wake up on the ground when you're not dead anymore. But what if you fell and that fall takes thousands and thousands and thousands of years? Let's just say some people in this book may spend countless eons looking for the book of their life and they're still there. It gets really, really fucked up, and it even devolves to the point where there becomes like a cult in the book that like wants to just constantly murder people
because they just come back.
Yeah, but that's not the reason they're murdering people. Again, I won't give it away, but I will highly recommend it. It's a very fucked up book.
Do they do anything? Is anything coming like, well, it's like, say like, the main character, he's looking for his book, but as he's looking for his book, he finds the book that has like somebody else's story in it. And like, cause like that would be a fucking thing to like fuck, to mess around with too.
Well, one big aspect of the book is, let's say you find somebody and fall in love with them, but then if you get split up because the place is so endless, like in life, if you're with somebody and then they die, it's over. Mm-hmm. They're gone. But in this place, they're somewhere.
Right.
You probably will never find them again. So it's kind of that deal. So even if which is not explored in the book, but imagine if you found somebody's life story that that you met there, but let's say they jumped in the chasm and now they're on a different level.
Yeah.
And you have no idea where. You're never gonna find them. You can never give them their book.
Yeah.
It'd be fucking awful. But it's a really cool story. This is one I wish it was an actual novel that explored the ideas more, and maybe I'll just write it myself and steal it.
Is it newer?
I don't know. I never heard of it before until I saw it. I actually saw it on a video. It wasn't one of the videos you sent me, but it was one of the guys that you sent me videos of that like just recommends books.
Yeah.
And it was I don't know, it came out 2011 maybe. I don't know if that's the right date.
Because that was gonna be the next questions of how did you come across it.
Yeah, that's how newer, but that got me down the hell wormhole. So there's another book that's often linked with this one that you'll see whenever you look this book up. It's called The Divine Farce. Oh. And I ordered that one. It's 127 pages, so I think it comes tomorrow. And I'm just going to take another break from Moby Dick and read that.
And it's the same guy?
No, it's a different guy. In that one, I think it's somebody like wakes up and they're in a very tight concrete thing or something, like a tube with like other people, and you can't even sit down.
Oh.
And food comes from the top so you can eat, and there's a grate at the bottom so you can shit and stuff.
Oh.
It's like some awful depiction of hell. And I'm just like, that's me. That's what I want to read now. This book, Spencer, sooner than later, so we can talk about it. But it's that's one of those ones I wish we could have made like a book of the month.
Oh, yeah.
I think it would have been really fun. And like I said, it only took me an hour to read. And I just sat down and it was one of those ones you fly through because it's so weird.
Right.
It starts off slightly slow, and then once you get into the fucked up shit, you're like, okay.
I'm sure. Yeah, I'm sure it's like one of those. Once you like, almost kind of like the hike. Like,
yeah,
it's weird, or it's like normal, and then once it fucking goes, it goes.
Well, you remember the scene in the hike where I think he has to build a castle, and it takes him like 10,000 years, or 20,000 years, or something fucked up, and then after that, you're just like, it just kind of blows your mind. But imagine literal eons.
Yeah.
It's pretty fucked up. The next one, this one actually really fucked me up too. And I went and read it before a couple times, and then I listened to the version by Harlan Ellison. It's his story, I Have No Mouth That I Must Scream.
Oh yeah, I've heard you talk about that before.
This short story portrays a hellish existence in a post-apocalyptic world where 5 humans are kept alive by a sadistic AI solely to be tortured forever. Coming soon.
Right.
Thanks, Elon Musk. Grok. The story is famous for its bleak and horrifying ending. It's old enough, I'll give away the ending. So these people, they're tormented by this AI who constantly leaves them starving. They can't die, really, but they manage, like the one guy manages to kill the other people so finally the suffering ends. But then the fucking AI turns him into a blob with no mouth, and he can't die. He's just sitting there starving for eternity. That's what always fucks me up. It's like Stephen King's Revival is not going to be mentioned here, but just like the ending of that, it's just like this eternity of, and not even just an eternity, but eternity that's just so awful.
Yeah.
What was like the short stay in hell? What was so terrible about that was eventually it gets to the point where you realize how fucking boring it is. Not the book, but the stay in that hell. Because almost every book, like imagine you go through thousands of books a day and they're all unreadable. Nothing. You can't, and there's no entertainment. You could try to entertain yourself by, I don't know what the fuck you do after so many years. But eventually everything becomes stale, even when it gets to the point where you don't even want to be around other people. And then like you just can't do anything. Because he even explains like, oh, you can go outside now and there's air and there's water and there's all kinds of shit. But in there, you're in the library. Imagine being in a fucking library of books you can't read forever. And everything's the same. You just walk and walk and walk and there's no end. Fucking the mundanity. And also in this book, everyone is American and white and speaks English and are from around the same period. It's like from like a 60-year span from when they died from each other. And that's a part of the hell. And the guy's like, there's probably like an African hell or like, he's wondering if he goes far enough, will he get to like the Chinese one or like Germany or just something different? but he never does because it's just so like everything's the same, and like that'd be awful.
Yeah.
Like just be everybody's the same and has the same similar life, and it's like, oh, it'd be fucking terrible. The next up, The Scarlet Gospels by Clive Barker. I can't remember if I read this one. A crossover between Barker's two famous characters. This book features a brutal and visceral journey through hell with the powerful and terrifying portrayal of its demons in the world. I don't remember. I don't remember if I read that one. Sandman Slim by Richard Cadre. The first book in this series follows a man who has escaped from hell only to find himself pursued by the demons he left behind. Next up, The Devil's Evidence by Simon Kurt Unsworth. The sequel to The Devil's Detective, this book continues the story of a man tasked with investigating suspicious fires in hell, which leads to a full-scale war between heaven and... I cut it off, so I don't know. Heaven and hell, I'd imagine.
Oh, that seems kind of interesting, though. Like you're a detective in hell.
And then we break into science fiction and fantasy.
Okay.
Inferno by Larry Niven and Jerry Pournelle. A sci-fi interpretation of Dante's journey. This book sees a modern-day man transported to a hell filled with mythological figures and futuristic technology. If you had the Divine Comedy, though, and you just told it in a more fun way.
Oh, yeah.
Great story.
I have a feeling like that's my hell. It's just like you don't even get to be put into like the Dante's Inferno where you do know the shit. You have to just read Dante's Inferno for fucking eternity. Just as soon as you read it, get to the end, just turn it back over and just start again.
I feel like your Dante's Inferno would incorporate having to learn Latin to read the original Dante. Or what? I think he actually wrote that in Italian. I don't fucking remember. To Reign in Hell by Stephen Brust. A fantasy novel that explores the biblical story of the fallen angels and their war against God, delving into the motivations and descent of Lucifer. And finally, God's Demon by Sean Crow. A dark fantasy novel that explores the nature of demons and their role in a world where hell is a tangible place. And I think it's Berserk that has a very crazy depiction of hell. Because Japanese have very terrible depictions of hell. So that was very unhelpful. And all I could find were Reddit articles, which they probably took that from. But like no cool synopsises of like what would be the worst hell, you know? Like some of my favorites include, but are not strictly
limited.
Yeah, not limited to. The one from Bill and Ted.
Yeah.
The idea of running through these crazy corridors and it just goes into different awful memories you have. That would be terrible. American Horror Story would be probably one of the worst ones I can ever imagine. And that's the one girl that's forced to work in retail hell forever. Oh. So she's like working customer service to the endless wait desk of people that are just assholes. And then also when she gets relieved of that, she has to go and fucking go to the towel wall and fold all the shit. Like, it was just terrible.
I always like the idea of like the personalized hell.
Yeah, that's more fun than like the Dante's Inferno hell where it's just like, you're going to be in a pit upside down with the guy poking your butt. And I'm like, that's terrible. But I could imagine worse things. Some people might even enjoy that. What would you say would be your ultimate depiction of a hell? Like, what would be you think would be fucking terrible?
Oh, like just personally?
Yeah.
It would have to be something along that line of just like your work just amped up to
never ending.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be. I see, that wouldn't be that bad for me, but I don't hate my job as much as you do. Probably. I think about shopping at Walmart or Sam's Club. I could imagine a hell involving that. Like, just never get to the register. Like, just constantly fucking getting blocked, and
every cart you have has a fucking dud wheel.
Fucking shit dud wheel. Yeah, I don't know.
The online shopping carts are everywhere.
I think the worst hells are the ones that don't even involve pain for me.
Right, yeah, because like pain you can kind of almost get numb to, or to a certain extent.
You can understand pain, but just like the mental things that could be done to you, I don't know. I'm interested to read the Divine Farce because let me read the synopsis of that one because it sounds more fucked up than the Short Stay in Hell. Again, eons,
so long. Because you had a story that was gonna, that you have been working on for a while that takes place in hell.
I do.
Isn't that the first novel that you were trying to? A
novel?
Wasn't it a novel?
I had a short story collection that was going to take place in
with
hell.
Like the Irish and stuff, or afterlife, I guess.
It wasn't hell,
just afterlife.
Something like an Irish afterlife. I guess it's kind of hell. but not like a cool hell.
I mean, didn't it have like a fucked up hotel in it with like?
Well, yeah, but that was based on the short story collection I was gonna write, where it was like a hotel this guy has to go through, and every fucking room he enters, like demons are chasing him, and he keeps going in these rooms. But then it's just like that would be the short story, be like somebody's hell he walks into. So the divine farce. 3 strangers are condemned to live together in darkness, crushed together in a concrete stall so small that they can never sit down. Ugh. Liquid food drips down from above. Waste drains through a grid on the floor. So begins one of the strangest, most surreal comments on the human experience, on love and hatred, and the human ability to find good in any situation, no matter how difficult. Apparently this one's an upper.
Oh.
Yeah, compared to the other one, which I was surprised.
Just being a shit tube.
Yeah. You know, I'm very disappointed that there wasn't a list. Maybe I didn't word that right. Let me reword that.
Like most creative hells, or
Now I got Dante's Inferno. It keeps giving me good, like, here's 10 infernally good demon and devil horror novels. The Power of Hell. It's like a list of books that are, kind of dealing with hell, but I just want the depictions, I just want the cool part. Let me just go to Reddit. A Short Stay in Hell. Yeah, well, I read that. I Have No Mouth and a Muskrat. Yeah, this is where they fucking AI is so smart it just takes off of Reddit.
Yeah.
The Divine Comedy. Nathan Ballingrud's Wounds is a collection of short stories that has a lot of hell on earth components. The last piece. You know what? I like the Labyrinth in Hellraiser.
Okay.
Because that seems terrible. But also, I would have fun exploring it. Like just walking it's a labyrinth.
Yeah.
I don't mind as long as it's not the same, Well, that was kind of similar, like, like you're looking at shit and it's all gray walls, but they have different rooms. Like I want to go in a room, like, oh, I'm going to be boiled alive for a couple 100 years. That's different. Let's try that out. At least you get to pick. Or Homer Simpson's hell where he just eats all the donuts and he loves it. Like, not everybody's hell is terrible. What if you're like a real sadomasochist and you want the pain? What's your hell like? You just get puppies. And
it's the you know what hell I liked? I liked the from Dragon Ball Super Frieza's hell when he's just in a fucking cocoon and
everything's all cute and fuzzy, and he's like, God damn it. Like I said, I don't know why there's not there's videos of depictions of hell, but again, they're not super interesting. Like I feel like people could be a lot more creative, and they must have been more creative, but I just don't know why you can't get, like, nobody made a list.
Do you think there's just not a lot of temporary stories dealing with people writing about like hell and stuff like that?
Maybe because people don't believe in hell so much anymore. Now there's art versions of this, like depictions of hell in art, so I guess I can go through that and people can't look at it. Oh, or do I have to give $30 to read this article? I can't click out of the X. There's a $30. I'm gonna click it anyway. You motherfucker.
Cha-ching, cha-ching.
How do I close out of it? I can't.
Every time you hit it, it's just another $30.
How is it connected to my fucking social security number? It didn't come up this time. Oh, it did. Oh, here we go. What a piece of shit. What firstartgallery.com. What a fucking piece of shit gallery you are, you piece of shit. You fucking shit eater piece of shit. Fuck. Sorry. The article seems fine, but the fact that they got that fucking ad that is unclickable or unavoidable to click, rather. Anyway, we have Hieronymus is Bosch's The Garden of Earthly Delights. That's my favorite depiction of hell because people putting weird things. They're doing sex stuff. If you look that up on Google, it's hard, but you can zoom in and see a lot of stuff.
Yeah, it's hard.
Gustav Dore's illustrations for Dante's Inferno. That doesn't look too cool. William Blake's The Number of the Beast 666. All right, you know what? These are all old farty farts.
I'm surprised they didn't pull anything from the Bible.
You know what I like about that Short Stay in Hell? That the demon is aghast that Christians think that you should spend eternity suffering. They're like, why would you fucking, why is that your depiction? Like, why would that be something that a god would choose to do to anyone? An eternity of suffering and fire, and like he's the guy just doesn't understand. It's a funny demon. I like him. So anyway, folks, that's an episode. Fuck it.
Fuck it.
Fuck it.
Fuck it.
This can't be another DBS though. We had DBS last week.
We wanted DBS and we were talking about hell.
We were talking about hell. Hell yeah. Anyway, if you want to check us out at DPW Podcast on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter, and YouTube. Spencer's OnlyFans, he's just in Delaware and he's a dandy.
Yep.
So, doing a cool dance or something? I don't know.
Probably.
Like a Yankee Doodle dandy.
Yeah.
Yankee Doodle dandy. That's why I picked Delaware. That was a part of What was it? The first state? I don't remember. Not the first state. Let me look that up. It's something about Delaware special. Scranton. It's not Delaware. It's Pennsylvania. What is special?
That's where they got the office.
First ever U.S. state is Delaware. I was right. I remember because I think it's on their fucking, when you go through Delaware, which I did, set it on the thing. First state. That's all they got.
Good for you.
Think about that. That's why Delaware is a state. Because it was the first.
Yeah.
If it didn't get to be the first, it wouldn't have ever been a state. People were like, what the fuck? Just make it New York or like Connecticut or something. Wherever the fuck it's connected to. It doesn't need to be a whole state. Rhode Island doesn't need to be a state.
No.
That could be like a Cape Cod. It doesn't need to be a state. New Hampshire. Why is that? That's one of those ones like people name the states. Like, well, I'm missing one. What the? New Hampshire. Barely there.
Right.
Just be a part of
and in those ones where you see it on the map and it needs to have the little arrow off to the side where the name's at. Like, where you can't have actually fit the name on the state. You have to have that little arrow.
Yeah, it's garbage.
Just get rid of it.
The one that's most erroneous to me is New Jersey. Just be New York. Why does it need more?
Jersey.
You get paid to get in, paid to get out. Like,
that does sound like it would be terrible.
And it's like, why? Why is Jersey like? Or make it Delaware. Fucking make Delaware number 2. Anyway, that's an episode. We'll check you next week. CalebJFK.com. Buy my work.
Yeah.
See you later, folks. Hear us later.
Smell us later.
You could do that. Smell-o-vision.